All right, let everyone know what's your name and where are you from.
My name is Jismed F. Suma. I'm from Sierra Leone.
Okay, and let everyone know, talk about your position.
I'm the Executive Director of Sierra Leone Policy Watch.
Oh, okay. And let everyone know, how long have you actually been in that position and what exactly do you do?
Well, Sierra Leone Policy Watch is a policy think tank in its embryonic stage that was established last year. And our main purpose of existence is to help any government of Sierra Leone in the formulation of effective public policy with respect to the way the affairs of government is run. We all understand that for over 50 years, the government of Sierra Leone has been struggling over this past 50 years or 51 years since independence to lift the economic standard of Sierra Leoneans. And everything that the government does, it's governed by the policies that are established within the system of governance.
Okay.
And over the past 50 years, the government had to rely on two categories of sources of government policies. Either policies are formulated by people within the system of government, particularly politicians that are supportive of the party in power, and usually those policies are influenced by so many factors, including political interest, tribal interest, regional interest, and self-interest in order to protect their position.
And
whenever a policy is formulated and polluted by those influences, those policies will be less effective. The second alternative source of government, source of policies, has always been ones that are dictated by the World Bank and IMF. And they have their ulterior motives. When they come, their interest is to formulate or introduce policies that will enable them to milk our natural resources. So much so that the leones has been devalued over 50 years, has dropped, has reduced the cost, the standard of living of Sierra Leoneans, whilst the cost of living is increasing. Yet the intrinsic value of the goods that we produce, the diamonds we produce, the cocoa we produce, and everything else that Sierra Leone has been producing over 50 years, the intrinsic value of those products has increased. And in the real sense of economics, if your value of production increases, your standard of living has to increase. And yet this government and the people of Sierra Leone, the standard of living have been reducing. So we are here to create a third aspect, a third alternative source of policy ideas of individuals, Sierra Leoneans, that has experiences in the areas of how to formulate similar policies with local interest, with vested interest that is not influenced by any tribal or political interest, of people that are not interested of going into politics, but are focused on seeking the interests of Sierra Leone and uplifting Sierra Leone. First of all, to examine why those policies have not worked for over 50 years, and two, what it is that we need to do to be able to bring in effective policies for the government to be able to run the affairs of governance in Sierra Leone. So many Sierra Leoneans that are outside, that are agitating to come back to Sierra Leone, will be able to come to a nation that is actually serving the interests of the people. Now, what Sierra Leone Policy World aspires to do is to work with any government of Sierra Leone, irrespective of which party is in power. We will come and examine the existing policies and look for loopholes, especially ones that are influenced by the ones dictated from outsiders who has no economy, who has no national interest in the uplifting of the welfare of the people of Sierra Leone, as well as those that are influenced by politicians. And we come at the third angle and say these policies are not going right. For 50 years, these are the issues that are affecting our education policy, that are affecting our economic development policies, that are affecting our infrastructural development policies, that are affecting our health development policies. And we are here to bring you a third or second alternative source of policies that we think will work better than what we have been doing for the past 50 years. And that is what Sierra Leone Policy Watch is all about. And I would like the public to understand Sierra Leone Policy Watch is not a pressure group, it's not a social club, it's a policy think tank.
Where do you see Sierra Leone in the next 10 years? It's blocking out the sound. Yeah, you won't do it. Where do you see Sierra Leone in the next 10 years?
the prospect for Sierra Leone for the next 10 years is very high. The aspirations of Sierra Leoneans, the average Sierra Leoneans, they are hoping and looking forward to a better Sierra Leone to be inherited by generations to come and those yet unborn, that is better than the life and the standard of Sierra Leoneans, the one we're living today. But we have a lot of strength to tap from, but we have a lot of weaknesses. And part of those weaknesses has to do with the lack of leadership. Now, if you ask me, the performance of the current government is good. Good in the sense that if you compare with predecessors, it's good. The exclusion of Sir Milton Magai, the performance of an S.E.E in the past 4 years, is an average. It's good in a real sense of the word. But an S.E.E, in my opinion, does not reach the standard that people like us aspire for the nation. Sierra Leone needs a transformational leader. And S, on the contrary, is a transactional leader. There is need for a transactional leader at a certain stage in the development trend. But today, Sierra Leone needs a transformational leader. The difference is this. A transactional leader is one who aspires to steer the ship and let it go by the day. You understand? And be able to allow sacred cows and sacred goats and sacred chickens to slip through the aspirations and goals, and have people to get away with certain stuff, like what we're having with the anti-corruption. So in that aspect, he's not done much. But since there are no alternative, when you compare his performance with Momo, with all his predecessors, or even Tijankaba, it's much better than that. So the point I'm saying is, Sierra Leone needs a transformational leader, one who defines his objective and mission, understand the strength and the weaknesses of his team, and be able to allocate team members to areas in which they'll be able to deliver to the extent of their ability. Unfortunately, there are certain aspects within the government itself, and there are certain individuals within the government itself, irrespective of how many academic accolades that they have, there are shortcomings in terms of the way they perform or they deliver the services. So there is hope that if he ever gets the second term, he might be able to transform himself into a transactional leader, because I have the opinion, I have a feeling that he is now trying to make sure he can set himself up to have a second term. Probably that's why he's allowing some of the sacred cows to get away with certain things. My hope is that if he gets the second term, he will transform himself to a transformational leader, which is what Sierra Leone needs now. A leader that one will consider a no-nonsense leader, who will not allow certain people to get away with certain activities at the expense of the progress and development of the nation.
All right. How important do you think events like the Sierra Leone Independence Day Ball that we're at right now? How important?
And it's because events like this are associated with the nationalistic sentiment of Sierra Leone. That is why people like us spend the time, spend the money to come and support organizers of events like this. Because Sierra Leone is aspiring for national leaders that we can idolize. With the exception of Sir Milton, in my opinion, there is nobody else. So we need people that are patriotic and has love and affection for Sierra Leone.
Absolutely.
For us to be able to uplift Sierra Leone's image, irrespective of the negative clouds that is over the nation as a whole. Because you and I and everybody else who was born and bred in Sierra Leone did not have a say in terms of what determines where they were going to be born and where they're going to call home. That decision was made by God. So if you respect God's choice in your life, then you will respect the fact that He has asked you to be a Sierra Leonean. So you have to love Sierra Leone, love the name, love the emblem, love the national anthem, love the flag, love the map, and love everything that's associated. And be proud to speak good of Sierra Leone in the midst of strangers. Be proud of your source, your origin as a Sierra Leonean in everywhere you go. And that's one thing that we need to continue to promote within our community. And that is why programs like this are good for people around every Sierra Leonean to be able to support. And that is why I was happy when this particular occasion was started with the national anthem. Beautiful. And it affected the sensibility of some of us when you had some people sitting down playing with their BlackBerry when the national anthem of Sierra Leone is being sung. It's very insulting to people like us. At one point I even got mad after the national anthem. I met one of the ladies that were sitting down. I said, do you realize that they were singing the national anthem of Sierra Leone and sitting down playing with your BlackBerry? Let me hold it for now.
All right, well, look into the camera and speak to people back home. Give them a message to everyone in Sierra Leone.
Well, my fellow Sierra Leoneans, it is a fact that you guys are going through a lot of challenges today. And it's the fact that you have limited choices. And you have limited resources to meet the very many desires that you want to address. There are a good number of you that are between the point of survival and losing hope in everything around you. But I want you to understand, I have the conviction that there has come a time in Sierra Leone when the gods are ready to smile on us. So I am pleading with you to hold on to the hopes and aspirations you have for the future. The time has come for Sierra Leone to change. It does not necessarily mean that this change may come about by politicians in particular. There are those who may not be interested in policy, but are now determined to take the yeoman task of breaking the culture of silence by speaking truth to power and making sure that we hold the feet of politicians to fire with respect to the development of Sierra Leone and the development of the people of Sierra Leone. Hope is there. Don't lose hope. Better days are coming.
Yes, they are.
This election is a matter of choice. Though the choices are limited, but I want everybody to know, when you go out there to cast your vote, please don't allow any other factor to influence your vote. Don't vote because you are a Limbatimini or a Mende or Kranko. Vote because you're a Sierra Leonean. Don't vote because you come from the east, south, or west. Vote because you're a Sierra Leonean. Don't vote because you're APC, SLPP, or whatever, or XYZ, or PMDC, or NDA. Vote because you're a Sierra Leonean. And if you are going to cast your vote in the name of Sierra Leone and the interest of Sierra Leone, in the aspirations that we all have for that great nation, then you will make sure that you make the right choice. Though our choices are limited in terms of the leadership as from whom we can tap or actually cast our vote, but I believe it does not take a rocket scientist to know who of the two parties or who of the two individuals each one of you should cast your vote for. We are opportune to have known the performance of each one of them. We all know the performance of Madabio during his days in PRC. We have been able to experience the performance of an Eskroma within the past 3-4 years. So the choice is yours. Nobody has to tell you how to make that choice. It is open and clear. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but you have to think as a Sierra Leonean in the name of Sierra Leone and the interest of Sierra Leone and cast the right vote so that we move the nation forward. Thank you.
All right, thank you.